Hey guys, it's Brian here from Bird of Prey Fishing Tackle. I want to go over our Pompano Rig Board in this video. This is our shop version. You can buy this online on our website. I have a link down below for it. This will make your life a lot easier if you like tying your own dropper loops for your pompano fishing, surf fishing off the beach at all, making high-low rigs for fluke and tog, make your own sabiki rigs, 2-hook rigs for snapper and triggerfish. There's a lot of uses for it. Alright guys, so we've got the board here in front of me. We've got our line. We're going to secure it to the rubber stopper. Hopefully y'all can see this line. Alright, now in normal configuration, let's say you want, about a 2 to 3 inch long snoot. This is how we tie them for the stores. We've got them, all close together in a little triangular pattern. Take your line, pull it down, go around all 3, and then you would go down and go around the next set of 3. If you're doing a double drop loop. Alright, now you can see a little bit of a tension here comes off. If you want the snoot to be really small, you want to keep that tension on there really tight. Or if you want to make it, how we do it for the stores, we give ourselves a little bit of room here. But what I do is, when it comes together here, you got the top line, bottom line. You want to grab them, put your finger in between both, and start spinning them around each other. And do it about 7-8 times. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now see I've got this hole right here. So I've got the twists on that side. I've got twists on this side. You take the other side of the line off of the 3rd peg and you push it through that hole. All right, and you put it back on the peg. I do this furthest one so you can see this here. And you'll start to see the knot tighten down. Normally, I keep a wet rag here with me, keep my fingers wet, a little moist, and that way there you'd get a little lubrication there on the line. Alright, now see what we've got. This snoot here ends up coming out to being, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and about a little over 3.5 inches in length. And that's typically what we do for our store rigs. So at this point, right, you'd pinch this together. We'll add a little orange float. And our little pink bead. And a trusty circle hook. Alright, now circle hooks are directional. You always want to go in through the front. Pull it through. And then around. Pull tight. So there you go, guys. See a little dropper loop here. Perfect for pompano. You don't always need floats or beads. I grew up fishing for pompano. Beads were just starting to become a thing, but most of the rigs, people call them naked rigs these days. That was what we all fished with. Alright, so let's see some adjustments here on the rig. Let's say you want to make your loops a little bit larger. Let's say you're wanting to do something for triggerfish or snapper. We just announced the snapper days here. So break out some little larger circle hooks here. These are what we use for Mingo. This is a 4/0, some of our imported Talon hooks. Alright, so I want my snoot to be a little bit longer for this rig. I'm going to move the peg down here, take our line, and secure it again. Secured. Alright, we're going to wrap it, just like before, around all 3 pegs. See it? Alright, I'm going to pull this off a good bit. I'm probably, 2 inches away from the board now. And I'm going to start wrapping. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. I'll pull it off from that farthest peg, pull it back through and on it. Alright, pull this nice tight. Alright, and this comes out to being, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6.5, 6 3/4 inches in length. Good for snapper fishing. Again, front of a circle hook. Wrap it around. That's it, guys. Now, you can also, at this point, wrap that around the hook, snell it, tie it if you want to. But that's all the options, that's for up to you. You can do whatever you like. This is basically, think of it like a tool that you'd have in your kitchen, where once you've got one of these Pompano rig boards, the sky's the limit in terms of your imagination and what you can make. We've got customers who are using these for making, squid rigs, gold hook rigs for catching, cigar minnows. They're making their own sabiki rigs for catching bait. We've got a guy in Tennessee who's using it to make rigs for catching shad for catfish. We've got a lot of guys on the East Coast that are using them for making high-low rigs for fluke and for tog. Some of these guys are putting jigs on the bottom of them, and then they'll put a hook or a lighter jig head on the top one for catching fluke. You've got guys that are, they'll put a tog jig on the bottom, and they'll come up a little ways, and they're putting a hook for another piece of crab. And I think there's a lot of overflow for these ideas to transfer back and forth between species. And so just play around with it, with these pompano rigs. Just with pompano fishing, look, you've got different colored floats, you've got different types of sinkers, like here's a Sputnik, versus a traditional pyramid weight. You've got normal, circle hooks versus painted ones. You got different swivel sizes, you got all the different colors of beads. The sky's the limit. And then the other thing is the line. Be sure to play around with the line size. I know most of the rig companies around here, almost always use 20-pound, whether it's mono or fluorocarbon. But depending on where you're at, you may want to drop that down to even 12-pound. If it's really, really clear water like we get here on the Emerald Coast sometimes. So just some aspects to think about. All right, let's show you a couple other features here. Some of the key features to this board are that it's made from 1/2-inch king plastic starboard, so it's built to tolerate most marine conditions. It's a very tough material. It'll hold up to quite a bit of abuse. Every board's got a cutout with a lid here for the pegs to sit in. Makes it easy in terms of storage and putting away. We've got these 3 little cutouts. As you can see, they're made for holding just about any little component or part that you'd want to bring with you. We offer lids for these. We're hoping to get some made out of a cheaper plastic that will drive down the cost of them some. But for right now, we're selling the lids at cost for machining them out of starboard. It's not an easy process, and it's not a inexpensive material, so they do cost a little bit. We've got the back of it here, got the engraved pompano. We can customize this. You know, we've done some for some other local companies where we've put their own logo on it. If you've got, you know, different fish species that you'd want on there, let us know. We can make that happen. There's a ruler on the back. Starts right here with this bump board. You know, it goes from 1 inch all the way up to 27 inch. The reason for that is not only for use with fishing, but for being able to measure, you know, the length of your loops, the length of your line. But this is also made where you can take it with you, and you can easily use your Pompano Rig board as a bump board too. So just slide your fish's nose up here and pinch the tail, and you can see how long he is. Alright guys, one of the features I want to show off on the Pompano Rig board here is this black rubber stopper. It's on the back side of the head of a bump board here. And what it's for is when you're pulling your line down, this is how you will first secure it. So I just pull it through, put it up against the back of the bump board, and gently wrap it behind it. That'll easily secure it in place. And pull it, and you can tighten up as need be around your pegs and start the tying process. So I easily pulled it off there. Doesn't do any damage to your line. Keeps it easy. No kinks. So that's a nice part of it. Now let's say you already know what you're going to be putting on your rigs. Let's say you're going to use a weight. Well, here's one of our swivel pyramid weights. Use a Sputnik if you want to. I'm just going to tie a quick knot here. Alright, so it'll set right in place. Look, this allows you to go ahead and quickly wrap it around your pegs. It's a nice useful feature there also, so if you already know what you're going to use, this will work for jig heads also for high-low rigs, bank weights, Sputniks, you name it. Alright guys, so a couple last features here. The main peg that your line spool sits on, this is currently a 1/2 inch diameter acrylic. It'll fit most of the major brands of fishing line. We've seen with a few off brands that they use a 3/8 inch diameter, or maybe it's even a metric inside here, and so it won't easily spin or it won't fit over it. We're working on addressing that issue. One of the things we're working on right now is possibly getting this to another brass peg that would fit in the storage system. That'll come out with future models, and again, we'll offer that at cost so that people with previous models can enjoy the upgrades also. This is what we're trying to do. And so the last feature here is this little line cutter option. Now, as you can see, this is flat on our tying bench. And so most of the time I'm just using scissors to cut this. And if you're planning on doing this at a table, or in an office area, I wouldn't recommend the line cutter. But if you plan on using this on the beach, you're wanting to tie rigs up while you're there so you can adjust them to whatever the conditions are, that's where the line cutter comes in real handy. This one's got a normal razor blade in it, but all the ones on our website come with a ceramic razor blade so it won't rust. All the components inside of here are stainless. We've got brass inserts as well, but nothing that's going to rust. And so it's made to be able to take it where you're going and where you're wanting to fish at. And so this line cutter speeds up the process, where when you've got this sitting on a bucket or an ice chest, or even on your lap, you can easily cut the line down here without any issue. So anyways, I hope that this little demonstration is giving y'all an idea of what the Pompano Rig board can do. And I hope that you'll get a chance to try one out soon. Please let us know if you've got any questions or concerns. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, shoot us an email, check out the rig boards on our website. We sell a lot of gear to allow people to tie their own rigs as well. We've got, of course, lots of weights. We've got hooks, swivels, beads, floats. So makes the job really easy. Thank you all very much. Good night.